won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers.
What up, and welcome in here to Pregaming on Sports Money. Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. This is where we put it all together. We spent all day looking at the card. We spent all day analyzing injuries, trends, angles, line movement, weather analysis, whose girlfriend's cheating on him with who, and everything else that gets put together to kind of figure out how we go to the window with winning tickets. That's what we're going to try to do here tonight. That's what we've earned the right to do here tonight. Tonight is our time. Last night was not our time, so we need to bounce back in a big way. Man, I got stung this afternoon. Man, I had them Penguins. I even had the Penguins parlayed with the under. In the Global Series game, man, oh man. Leading 1-0 the whole game. The whole damn game. Last minute of the game. Well, why not? Nashville scores a goal. It goes into overtime. And that was it. That was it. That's one spot where dogs did not go to die. But we still have two hockey games we're going to talk about here tonight with the Vancouver Canucks and the Carolina Hurricanes. We'll talk about the Islanders and the Mammoth. Pretty much the only thing that went right last night was that Islanders game, which is great because there were so many live ways to plus money that thing. And then what a crazy goal in overtime. Huh? Thank you, Mitch Marner. Thank you for playing defense as an offenseman. And there's a goal, and that's how we win a plus 160. Everybody was blown away. I was not. I was blown away that we found a new trend. Oh, I don't know how often it's going to happen, but I highlighted the shit out of it. So when it happens again, you know we'll be playing it. Anyhow, we will move on from the NHL and the frozen tundra over to the hardwood. Collegiate level hardwood to start things off. We've got Indiana State and Duke at a 7 p.m. battle. Xavier in Iowa. Georgia Tech in Georgia, and then Providence and Colorado. I like Providence. Not so much since coaching change here, but anyhow, that's a different story. Clemson and Louisville will be the college football game I will share with you guys here tonight. 3 games. One of them is kind of meaningless. One of them is a Big Ten battle. One of them is an ACC battle. I thought Clemson-Louisville starts earlier. We talk about that one. And then I've got 3 games for you in the NBA Cup. Friday night is the NBA Cup. That means we will talk Heat and Knicks, Kings and Timberwolves, and Golden State and the Spurs. How about that for a card tonight? What do you guys think? I think that sounds pretty damn good, in my opinion. Shout out to everybody that is joining us here. Appreciate everybody coming in to spend the next 45 minutes to an hour with me. As we break this down, we try to look for these angles. We'll get the bets placed. We'll go through our Friday. And then we will get ready for Saturday. Big college football card. The UFC stream starts at 6 p.m. Actually, it's about 5:45 p.m. So I've got to finalize my UFC card. Going to put some shorts out there tonight. You know the deal. We got 6 fights already broken down for you between the VB MMA Picks, Ramon Scott Show, and the First Strike Show with MMA Jeff and I. 6 fights all ready to go. All you got to do is hit the play button, check them out, take some notes, hear what we have to say, and then decide if you're going to tail or fade. That's the way we go about it this evening. So, sadly, it was not a glorious day yesterday. Pretty much gave back everything we gained on the week, which is horrible. Literally everything. Wichita minus 5-1. That's a good game, actually. And then the Islanders plus 160. That cash for us. Everything else, literally, here lost. Winnable, not so bad. Here, not so good. Matter of fact, Colorado wins. The Kings win. The Winnipeg Jets. They end up losing. I mean, that's the kind of night it was there. Brandon Ingram gets 14 points. He's averaging 20, not 19 and a half. And he gets, 11 points. Excuse me. It's just ugly. It's just an ugly night. The Florida Panthers under 5.5 has screwed us 2 weeks in a row now. Might have to let that one cool off a little bit. And then how about that Troy over? Turns out defense was the answer. Well, Troy got busted up 33-0. I mean, 53 should have happened. It should have easily happened. Troy just couldn't get on the board. So we won't make excuses. We will just roll our sleeves up and we will get to work as we try to get the action in place here this evening. I've got a series of plays out there. My best bets, my favorite plays, the ones I went a little heavier on. We flat bet here. We keep everything, track everything as a unit, but there are some plays that I like a little bit more than others. You can find those over at Winnable, posting afternoon action. Sadly, I gave out that Penguins game at Winnable. That sucked. But for about $1 a day, you can catch the text alerts. You can support me as we continue this endeavor to build our bankrolls and enhance our lifestyles with some extra dollars and cents coming by way of the sports books. All you have to do is go over to winnable.com/Mikey Money. Use promo code 25 off. You'll get a 25% discount. It'll be less than $1 a day. Get all my best bets sent right to your phone via text. Hey, it's Mikey Money here, letting you know the Sports Money team is live on Winnable. Come check out our best bets.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays, and they're sent right to your phone right when we drop them.
Don't wait, don't guess, don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
All right, we have a duck race that is still owed from last night. I did not forget. We just had a few too many cocktails. We had a little too much fun. But for those of you guys that did like and repost, we will have that duck race for some free month memberships from Ramon Scott, myself, and MMA Jeff. So appreciate you guys that did take that time. Let's take the time to get the business. You guys know the deal. Let's get those plays in the chat. Let's talk about what you guys are on. Let's talk about what I'm on. Let's get ourselves fired up. Let's get ourselves capping for the weekend because we have a big one ahead. Yeah, you'll see the morning steam at 9 a.m. You'll see the UFC show. Coincidentally, it's going to be right about the same time as this show. And we'll be rolling until about probably 12:30, probably 6.5 hours. I'm forecasting for this pay-per-view event at Madison Square Garden. Now, looks like a terrific card. It really does. Looks like there's some landmines and some pitfalls. It's the third highest gate ever for UFC at Madison Square Garden. Third highest. Now, one of them was Khabib and McGregor. So really, take that and nominally aside, it's the second highest gate at Madison Square Garden ever. That's how you know it's going to be a fun pay-per-view card. You're not going to want to miss out on that. And then Sunday will pop off. You'll get the morning steam. You'll get the NFL betting blitz show with myself and the Shark. Fired up to take you guys through. I think it's a 13-game NFL card. Best bets, sides, totals, props, you name it. We're going to talk about it for the Sunday morning show. And then we'll be live Sunday night for prime time. Detroit Lions, Philadelphia Eagles, big game in the NFC. All here at the Sports Money Network. So there is a lot happening, you guys, this weekend. Hopefully you're ready and you're set. Get all your chores done tonight and then early tomorrow, because we do have to fire this weekend and we got bankrolls to build. So let's get the best bets in the chat. This is my favorite part of the show. I love to shout out what you guys are on. Let's see what's going on. Jerry Jones is in the house. This is IHPJ over 187. Coach runs like NBA. IUN over 187. Okay. I got you. Stop Geoengineering's here. Nicholas Handy. Robert McCormick. There's Kelly V. Says, of course, Forsberg anytime goal from Sweden. Sometimes it feels like that, doesn't it, KV? Gary Frank's in the house. He says, I'm on Providence tonight, too. Action Jackson's getting me fired up. Says, last call. Last call. Pimping it. How's it go? There's my guy, Jay Peasy. I got it, Jay Peasy. I got a soundtrack worth of Jay Peasy goodies here. Pimping ain't. Oh, how's it go? How's it go, Jay Peasy? How's it go? Let me see. I'll have to find it. My guy, Jay Peasy's in the house. I see him there. Smoking Mirrors is checking in as well. Light crew today in the chat. A lot of you guys are bashful. Don't be bashful. Chat, share your best bets. Let's see what you guys are on. Mr. Whiskers says, last call to be pimp slapped. Pimping on the run. But it's fun. I don't know. Oh, man. I know I got Saturday. I'm going to be listening to all those tonight. I'm going to fire them up again here tonight. Robert McCormick says Lehigh versus Rutgers under 136.5 for our guy, Bobby Mack. Thank you for the like and retweet, my friend. Means a lot, you guys. We are on all social platforms here. Started broadcasting to Twitch. How about this? I think in all the times I shot us over to Instagram, we got like one view ever. Many of you have followed over there. We'll be continuing to put content over there. But last night, right off the gate, we had almost a half a dozen on Twitch. So maybe there's something to it. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll get the formula right. But we got to win. Most important thing is to win. Mr. Whiskers says he wants to win with UCLA and Bucknell and the 76ers. Blake M says JPZ music gets everyone fired up and happy. Well, what the hell? Why can't we just have a little fun here, right? Who's going to say we can't? Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. We don't stop. Rain, sleep, or snow. Pregaming is good to
go. Snow, Curtis, flow, fuck all you haters. Fuck making bitch using best simulators. Fuck cashing in, all we wanna do is win. Put the juice in the gin, now it's time to begin. Fuck the books, they can take it on the chin. Surrendering dividends, don't fuck with mine. Playing the show, starts with capping and ends with them slapping and stacking cash and boatloads. They won't know what happened. It's pre-gaming and others, they seem lame. Like Abel meeting Cain, a bullet to the brain. We don't give a fuck like Kiki said. We ain't playing, we ain't game, but we ain't playing.
I'm back and I'm joined with my guy. Oh, get a fight! Get a fight! Get a fight! Get a fight! About them vibes, man. About them Friday vibes. Nothing gets me fired up more than enjoying a little number from my guy, Jay Peasy. Nasty Nate says the Pats smashed. That game was fucked. Okay? Let me explain to you exactly what I mean. Let me clarify. If you got the sevens, what I tell you? That first half, you had to be Jets plus 7.5, right? It's one thing to say it, it's another thing to play it. I'm just going to say, I said it. I didn't play it. But what I said was they've only covered or scored the first half by more than 7 points once on the season. So you couldn't play that. If you had the 7, you pushed. If you had the 7.5 with the Jets, you won. Now that's important because the full game was 13. It got buyback though. The Sharps bought it back off of 13. U-shaped movement, right? They moved it down. Patriots, drove that line up. Then it got to 13. And then after it flattened out, the Sharps started buying it back. That 13 moved to 12.5. And it was a final of 13. Now, some would say it's the definition of sharp line. Others would say that's the definition of how you read a line. And I think it's just good to reflect on that every so often, albeit, yeah, it sucked. Shit game. But it's all good. It's all fun. Let's put the bookies on the run here. We got ourselves going. Nasty Nate took the first half minus 6.5. DJ Hardy says, when is Kevin fighting? The answer is next Friday. next Friday. Matter of fact, I might not even have a show next Friday. Dude, and it seems to me, like I said this to Jeff, every time he fights, the next day is like an early UFC. I think this one's in fucking Morocco or Shanghai or something. It's early, though. It's like 10 a.m. Damn, So we'll see. Nasty Nate says 12.5 closed. Yeah. Well, the Sharps bought it from 13 to 12.5. Fuckers. U-shaped movement reigns supreme. It was all right, though. I like those jerseys. It was a fine game. I mean, it was entertaining. Had some fun. We were using our razor sharp voice. It was a good time. So anyhow, yeah, Kevin fights next Friday at Seneca, Niagara. Be fun. Be fun to see what happens. All right, you guys, let's get to it. Let's talk about some plays. Let's get into this action. Action Jackson. Get me fired up. Last call. Stole the goddamn name. Stole my own name. Can you believe that? Unoriginal bastards. Nasty Nate says LFA's at Foxwoods this week, he thinks. Shout out to David Wallace. What's up, David? My guy. Stop Jesus. Fuck all you haters. That's right. That's right. Vancouver Canucks. Now, listen, I didn't have time to transcribe all my notes off I was doing some shit today, so I was speaking them as we were rolling. So we're going to have to figure this shit show out together today. And that's just the way it's going to have to be. So, in the words of Conor McGregor, I apologize to absolutely nobody. So, we're going to kick this spot off here. We're going to kick this card off here. It's a 4-game NHL card. So, I don't know. What are you going to do? There's some spots I like. Just felt like there's some shots to take. I'm just chapped about that Penguins Nashville game earlier. Minus 125. Then it moved to minus 130. Then it moved to minus 135. Damn it. The Vancouver Canucks and the Carolina Hurricanes will play at 7 p.m. on the East Coast in Carolina. Kevin Lankinen will be the starter for the Vancouver Canucks, and Pyotr Kochetkov will start for the Carolina Hurricanes. It's an ugly matchup. It's a 3.56 Kevin Lankinen. It's a 1.46 Kochetkov. I think the Carolina Hurricanes, it's interesting. So we faded him the other day. We cashed. What's interesting about this Carolina Hurricanes team is that rotation of goalies. I'm big on the goaltender side of things. You guys know that. That's how we start them all off. Lankinen has to play because Thatcher Demko's hurt again. This guy's Charmin soft, I think. Now, Carolina had Frederik Andersen all last year, Charmin soft. So they learned, they beefed up their staff, and they got through a 3-man rotation. So they're fresh. Goaltenders are fresh as a daisy over on that Carolina side of things. Question is, what are we going to see from their offense? And on the other side of things, the Canucks have lost 3 of their last 4 games. Hurricanes are firing. They're 11-5 on the season. It looks pretty good. They did just come off a loss. Spot that I want to take advantage of, though, I'm going to go for the bomb. I'm going to go for the big bomb, as a matter of fact. Because it's a bounce back spot. And one of the best teams to bounce back, the Canucks. The Canucks. Underdogs in NHL matchups, yeah, they're fair. They're a dog for a reason most of the time. However, when they're off a home loss, they're 45-22. You might say, well, how many years back does that go? Fine. But they're 9-1 in the last 10. So, yeah, they're struggling a little bit. Yeah, a lot of it. Okay, let's be fair. But there's too much of a price tag to pass up. Not going to go out there and lay $3 on the Hurricanes. We just saw talk about the U-shaped movement. This was as high as minus 272. I see some 275s. It's starting to come back down a little bit because they agree, the Sharps. A 500 team, yeah, it doesn't look great. Probably a lower scoring game. And if it's going to be lower scoring, then we always want to try to position ourselves to get the most bang for our buck. And that bang for our buck happens to be in this bounce back Vancouver Canucks spot. So I'll take them. Look, you can get the plus 1.5 at even money if you want. My thought process is they either win the game outright or they get blown out. And so why not? If you're going to take the shot and I tell you the trend that makes sense to go behind it, then why not fire for the most return on your investment? And look, as great as Carolina's been, they just lost to that Washington team that we faded them on the other night. Everybody was hammering on these guys at minus 152 against the Capitals. And I saw a bunch of minus ones. We'll take the minus one just in case they lose. It keeps the juice down. They lost all right. And we caught a plus money winner. So in all fairness, the Canucks, they just lost to Colorado. That was 5-4. Wasn't as egregious and ugly as it could have been. And then they lost to Winnipeg 5-3. So they're fine in the back of the net in this lower scoring game against a team that's in a fade position with a strong trend that says bounce back. I'll take a shot with the Vancouver Canucks. It's a shot. Some of you may be risk averse, and that's fine. But this is how we grow the bankroll. We'll move on to game number 2. Game number 2 in the... Oh, I just realized I got to do the graphics for the UFC for tomorrow. Oh, that sucks. That took a little wind out of my sail. New York Islanders will face the Utah Mammoth. Now, we got a team in overtime last night. We got the win. Were you guys as shocked as I was? Like, holy shit. Great trend. Teams lost 2 in a row against 2 in a row, and they've played 5 straight home games. They're playing their 6th game at home. I can't happen that often, but when it does, it's now 7-1. I don't think I heard anybody talking about this Islander spot last night except us. Now, what I tell you, we scripted out the next couple of spots because the Islanders won. Vegas lost. Vegas now finally going on the road. The honey-do list goes aside. Get the cards out. Bring the bankrolls. The boys are going to be smoking cigars, having some fun on the road. That's Vegas. And who are they going to go play? The St. Louis Blues. Why is that important? Because the St. Louis Blues tonight are about to face a Philadelphia team that's going to physically exhaust them. I said this yesterday. Rick Tocchet turned that squad, or 2 days ago maybe. Rick Tocchet turned that squad into a defensive juggernaut. And I said, I haven't used the word juggernaut in relation to the Flyers ever. So, well, that's not true, but probably. I don't really use the word juggernaut. So, we already talked about taking the Vegas in that St. Louis spot if they lost last night. And they're playing St. Louis tonight. So this will be the second leg of a back-to-back. Everything lined up for us to take Vegas tomorrow. What is that price tag? Let's see. Better take it now. Better take it right now. Sharp bets. What I tell you, the sharps bet hockey early. It's like the WNBA. They don't fuck around on game day. They already got their money because they're taking their prices. And guess what? 82% of the bets and 100% of the cash have taken the Vegas Golden Knights. There's only 116 tickets in the sample. It moved from $1.35 to $1.40. You better take them tonight. Don't take them like now. Let your bankroll play tonight. And then after you win with me, take them at the end of the night before you go to bed. Put that play in for the Vegas Golden Knights. Okay? But back to this game. The Islanders and the Mammoth. The Islanders won last night. They're on an overtime spot. You know we want to fade those teams in those overtime spots. The problem I have here is the Mammoth, despite growing on me, they're $2 favorites. The line's not moving. And the only team that they've beaten in recent form are the Buffalo Sabres. So I can't lay $2. Can't do it. Won't do it. Can't do it. Probably wouldn't do it anyways. Wouldn't put it in a parlay. If you gave me a free bet, I wouldn't use it there, especially if you gave me a free bet. Fucking pisses me off. Fan cash at Fanatics. You guys ever do that? Where you push the button and then the fucking balls come down from the box and normally you win 0 and sometimes you win 5. Today I had a 50. I was like, damn. Wow. I wasn't even paying attention. I looked twice. I'm like, wow, I got a 50. So what did I do? Because it's a free bet. I took the Penguins in the under 6.5. Was going to pay out like plus 250. And I was like, all right, that's a way you use it. That's going to turn a 50 into $130 or something like that, right? But they take that 50 back. So if I had a free bet, I wouldn't use it on a $2 favorite either. But I'll tell you what I will do. I will look at some goaltenders and I will evaluate how it is I want to get paid in this game, because as I was looking at these two, we have Red Light Rittich and Carl Vejmelka. Red Light Rittich, 3-2 with a 3.4 goals against average on the season. That's bag of shit status. That's super bag of shit status. Islanders have finally found a winning streak because they're scoring goals, as we saw evidenced last night. Rittich let up 5 goals in his last start, 26 shots. Terrible against that Minnesota Wild. He hadn't started again since. So they're going to go back to him because it is the second leg of the back-to-back. Expect tired legs. Expect now they're at elevation. And then Vejmelka on the other side of things, he's a piece of shit. He's got a 2.8. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm speaking strictly in reference to his hockey stats. That's all. 2.84 goals against average. 8-4 on the season. They're picking up wins, and they play great at home. He saved 17 pucks on 19 shots. It was against the Buffalo Sabres, but they scored 5 times in that game. See where I'm going with this one? We're going to take the over. When you play a shit defense and you're the New York Islanders, they've gone over 13 in a row. 13 straight times. And look, bottom line is the team scored 2 or more goals the previous spot. And the team they're playing allows 3 goals or more on average. That's shit defense. 13 straight times. 13-0. 13 in a row. 13-0. I'll take me some over 6.5. I got even money with the NHL action. What do you think about that? Let's see what you guys have to say. I was trying to provoke some conversation. Gooey McDougal says Louisville running back going for 100 tonight. The backup's a stud in the Cards money line. Hammer. And David took it at plus 197. JPZ says locked in the Raging Cajun plus 15 versus McNeese. And he locked in New Orleans plus 11.5 against Tulane. There's Ramon Scott. The New York, New Jersey juggernaut, former women's professional softball team, had uniforms that said Jugs. Ramon, if I didn't know you, I would say you're full of shit. But we saw the Scumbags, our new favorite college baseball team. So I believe you. I'm inclined to believe you, Ramon. All right. Onward, upward. Let's move into some college basketball. Like I said, bear with me, you guys. I did not get a chance to. JPZ locked in Rice at minus 10.5. JPZ up in the house. All right, you guys, college hoops. We're going to move on over to Indiana State and Duke. Indiana State and Duke. Indiana State and Duke. I believe it's 7 o'clock. Let me see if I can find it here. There it is. Money coming down, minus 40.5 down to 38.5. And you got 68% of the bets and 67% of the cash on the Indiana State side of things here. Total's gone up from 160.5 to 163.5. 3 points of movement. Wow. Is it too much movement? Is it not enough movement? I think this is a good Duke opportunity for us here. You know, I was looking at a couple of different things. I guess just kind of short and sweet. We'll just fire through this stuff, right? Make it easy on me because I don't have all my notes in the same place here today. How about that? Duke beats teams down. If they're a favorite of over 5.5, and the total is under 143 or bigger than 143.5, excuse me. It's 163.5. Wouldn't make sense if it was under. So we got Duke in beatdown position. The point spreads come down 2 points. I told you the other day, I took some of these big, I'm not afraid to take big spreads. I suck at them. But it's a big game. Indiana State's, you know, what are they going to do? Going to go out there and compete? Maybe in the first half, but Duke's just top to bottom better team. Clearly, that's not putting my neck out there on the chopping block here. They're 20-0. Regular season favorite, more than 5.5 with a total bigger than 143. This total's clearly, or this, they're clearly bigger than a 5.5 point favorite. And the total's well over that 143.5. So I think they beat them down. I think they get to 100. We've seen a bunch of hundreds already on this card. So give it to me. Give it to me, baby. 38.5. Can you believe it? Man, Jay Peasy, Ole Miss minus 23.5 against Bakersfield. Says, put it in. Let's go, Jay Peasy. I better write these down, Jay Peasy. My dude. You just start texting me your card, Jay Peasy. See what you boys got going on tonight. Incidentally, I cut my finger the other day. Cheese grating something. You guys ever use the cheese grater? And when you're shredding the cheese, you know, they got them stand-up boxes. And then when you're sliding the cheese, you do this where you nick the nail. Nick the part of my fucking finger went right into the old pile of cheese. As gross as it was just for me, so it was all right. But the problem is when I hold my pen, the way I hold the pen, it sits right on that cut. Edgecombe will play tonight for the Sixers. Okay. I'm going to add a play. I'm going to add a play in that game, but we'll talk about that here momentarily. Colorado minus 1.5 versus Providence, says Jay Peasy. AOD says best fucking intros in the game. Let's go. Stop Joseph's FanDuel NBA Happy Hour, 6 to 7:30. 30% profit boost. Wow. All right. All right, so we're going to move forward here. We're going to take this Duke spot. We're going to lay the bomb out there. We're going to lay the lumber. Play it to lay it. Lay it to play it. And now we're going to go through Jover's probably least favorite part of my card here tonight. If I had to guess. Drake's playing, by the way. Just saying, I'm looking at that over. I didn't pull the trigger on it, but I'm looking at it. It's a 7:30 start, so I got some time to consider it. As I'm looking down the card, Xavier and Iowa pop off here at 8 p.m. This is a 14.5 that's now moved to 15.5 in favor of Iowa. 82% of the bets and 84% of the cash. It's reverse line movement, boys and girls. Reverse line movement. Totals come down from 144.5 to 142.5. 66% of the bet, 65% of the cash, or 75% of the cash. I mean, look, 2-1 is Xavier. I get it. I just think I was there to thump. I was going to pop him in the head. I was done nothing but beat up on dog shit teams. Xavier done nothing but beat up on dog shit teams. However, they finally had a reasonable opponent in Santa Clara, and they lost. Santa Clara's 3. I like Santa Clara. I sprinkled a little on that game as well. But couple things I was looking at with this game. You know, Iowa should kick the shit out of these guys. They are 15-0 against the spread when they're in that favorite position. If they're a big favorite, this is one that you don't see very often. Iowa specifically. You know, we look at 3 types of trends, right? We look at the league-wide, team specific, and then player specific or coach specific. These ones are team-wide. 15-0 against the spread if they're a favorite between 14 and 27.5 points on a total sitting less than 160.5. Sorry. It's 2 negatives equal a positive. So when I'm reading some of these trends, I have to think twice. Is it over? Or is it bigger than or smaller than? Bigger than means smaller than, if you can imagine that fucking crazy world. But any event, they should go out there and stomp on these boys. The question is, do I want to lay that many points with these fellas? And I think I found an alternative way to go about it. I think. I don't know. You guys tell me. We'll see if it could pay out for us here or not. But, you know, bottom line, we like intersecting zeros. And that's what Xavier does for us here. Leg 1 of the intersecting zero. They're 10-0 to the under. If they're playing a team that's averaging more than 44.5% shooting, a total that's under 155.5, and they're on a 2 or greater game ATS losing streak. They're averaging 138 points in those spots. Not a huge margin, but a margin nonetheless, basically saying they're going to go out there and play defense. They're tired of getting their ass kicked. The team that they're playing shoots the lights out. They go out there and play defense. Iowa's 7-0 to the under. If they're coming in a rested position and shot better from 3 than their opponent did. In other words, Iowa's over efficiency in shooting from 3 gets us a sell high position because they're overinflating Iowa's projection and worth. And what's happening is they're going under by 14 points a game in those spots. So yeah, there's the margin that we're looking for. Probably going to be a tight one. Probably should still go under by, 4 or 5 points in this game. I like it. I'll take the under. I do think they put boot to ass. And I'm not a big teaser guy. I told you this before, in college hoops specifically, because you're only getting basketball in general, because you're only getting 4. But this could be one of those spots where I could justify a teaser with Iowa. Iowa in the under. Bring that thing up to 147. Bring the side down to 11.5 if you wanted to play that way. But I think you could play this thing under, tease it with the under, play Iowa. I don't think there's any way the only way to go wrong on this thing is not to have a play of any of the 3 that I just mentioned, in my estimation, with this game. Ramon Scott says Cunningham downgraded to out tonight versus Philadelphia. JP says everyone's on the Flyers. It's gone up from plus 110 to 118. Gives them pause. Shut the plant-based in the house. Jeff Matthews says, good night to round robin some of those college basketball moneyline dogs. Citadel, UAB, TCU, Troy, Cal Poly, UCLA, and Arizona State. I think TCU gets fucking taken behind the woodshed. I think they're going to wake up tomorrow. They're going to have to go to the shrink, and the shrink's going to say, point on this dial where they hurt you. Because, I don't know, that's just my feeling about that TCU spot. But other than that, I don't disagree. Matter of fact, to give you some better color than touch this dial, let me show you. Let me tell you. Where'd it go? Where did it go? I don't have my notes. Fuck. Now. TCU's in a non-covering spread situation. I know that. Sorry. I shouldn't even have said anything. I can't find it. But I did say something. So at least I can sleep better tonight knowing that I said something. Anyhow, let's go on. More action to unpack. Yeah, Dirty Rich. They're going to cover. They're going to beat them boys up. Bet you they win that game by 45 points. All right. Let's move on. Georgia Tech and Georgia. Battle of 3-0s here. Going to pop off at... I didn't write the time down. 9 p.m. I did go chronologically, though, so that does make sense. That does help. And this line opened up at 14. It's moved to 15.5 now. 63%. Whoa. Late buying just now. It was 63% of the bets. Now it's 60% of the bets on Georgia Tech. 61 on Georgia. 60% of the bets, 61% of the cash on Georgia. Just came down. So there's late buying on this Georgia Tech side of things at the 15.5. There's U-shaped movement. Although it's 9 o'clock, so I don't know how huge that movement is. This total's gone up to 155.5. It's gone up 9 points. It's 50-50 on the cash. 47% of the bets and 50-50 on the cash. It's gone up 9 points. I'm going to get under that number. At this point, at this rate, I like the Georgia side quite a bit. I rather like them. But you know what I like more? I like intersecting zeros. That's what we have here. Because Georgia comes in at 9-0 to the under. When they're more than a minus, this is where it says less than. Less than is more than. When they're more than a 3.5 point favorite versus a team with less than 7 days rest, the total's over a 141.5. Let's go. 138.5 is the total that they're seeing. That's almost 20 points in our back pocket for this thing. For Georgia, they're also 7-0 to the under. If they got less than 5 days after a home game that they made at least 32 field goals. In other words, they shot the lights out. They overinflate the Georgia number, and they're going under by 20 points a game in those spots. Then we got Georgia Tech. They create the intersection 0 for us because they're 8-0 to the under as a rested dog after a game as a favorite. They're averaging 134.4 points. We got 20 points of margin all over the place on this game, and the line got moved up 9 points. Yeah. I'll take this under. Feel pretty goddamn good about it. Well, I'm at it. How about that? Let's go. Guados is not laying 38 with Duke or BYU. We'll see. That's a lot of points. A lot of points for a reason. They don't want you to buy on Duke. They know Duke's going to take them boys behind the woodshed. Providence and Colorado will finish out my college hoops card. There's quite a... You're right. This is a round robin type of card. I took that early game under. Problem is I didn't realize it until like 2 minutes before it started. So I couldn't tell anybody. So I cashed. But -2 moved to +2 on the Providence side of things here. The Friars, 43% of the bets and 76% of the cash are on Providence. The lines moved in the opposite direction. They were a favorite. Now they're a dog. Complete flip-flop. And in total, that's gone from 162.5 to 163.5. 58% of the bets and 57% of the cash betting on the over. Has moved a point. This has potential for score fest. The line suggests that. But I'm going to go to the under. 3 straight unders in college basketball for me. Why? Because of what the coaches said. Specifically about defense. Not happy with their defensive efforts. They got to do better. Yeah. High tempo. Yeah. Poor defense. But how many points is Providence going to be able to go out there and put up? Because I believe Providence is in a little bit of a rebuild. So, and by the way, Providence got a shot blocker. Big shot blocker. One of the best in the conference. So I like the spot here for this under. I think it's a situation where we just kind of get behind this thing, listen to what the coaches have to say. It's like those UFC fighters when they talk about going out there. I'm going to go out there and sub her. And then people are like, oh, she's never been subbed before. Well, yeah, but she just said that's her game plan. That's your strategy. Now, can you believe them all at face value? No. But the problem is Providence is trying to pick a pace. They're trying to run at a faster pace. And Colorado's coach specifically said, we want to play defense. So I think this is that spot. I wouldn't even be mad to take a Providence team total under. But in any event, I like the under in this game. Contrarian play as it may be, I'm listening to what the coaches had to say about the way they're getting down. Shout out to everybody that's checking us out on X. If you guys haven't done so already, shoot on over to the Sports Money YouTube page. We do this every single day. We got content for you guys giving out sports bets, picks, best bets, trends, you name it, polls. We do all kinds of shit here on a regular basis, and it's all to help you guys cash winning tickets. So if you haven't done so already, give us a check out there. And while you're at it, smash the thumbs up button. I had to double take. The Twitter feed is popping tonight. I want to shout out myself. Talk about the Twitter changes that I suggested everybody makes. Everybody just wants to go live. So sometimes you got to put a little work in. That being said, you guys, Clemson and Louisville will kick off the college football card for us here today. I think I'm going to have 6 college football games tomorrow. I'm just pulling that number out of the air. I know there's like a dozen I like, but I think I want to trim it down to like just a 6-pack. Like I like to do it. If you watch the way I put out my college football card, it's in waves. It's like the 12 to 3 window. Then you got like the 3 to 7 window. Then kind of like the 7 to close window, right? And that's traditionally been productive, but that first window seems like just not winning enough. Like even 500, I don't know. It's a little too early to be anecdotal like that. Clemson opened up at -6.5 with the way early look ahead lines here for a big game against Louisville in the ACC. And guess what? Louisville then messed around and got themselves a number 20 ranking, while Clemson has their backs against the wall. And you might be saying, what are they up against the wall for? Because Dabo ain't want a losing season. And if they lose any more, they're going to probably become bowl ineligible. So it's a big battle. Sharp respected bettors. Well, I shouldn't say that. I should say the books could benefit from Clemson winning. Just think about that. The books could benefit from Clemson winning, and everybody's written off Clemson. -6.5's gone to 2.5. 60% of the bets are on Clemson. 61% of the cash is on Louisville. And the totals come down 9 full points from 60.5 to 51.5. You have 67% of the bets, 73% of the cash. Disappointing spot for Clemson, if you're Clemson. Look, you want to do the wrong team favorite segment? Fine. Wrong team's favorite. Clemson beats these guys. It's a ground game. I think these both, I think Louisville wants to run the ball, and I think Clemson just wants to do anything they can to win. So this game's going to be fought in the trenches. Louisville just lost to Cal. They had a nice little stretch. They beat Miami. They thumped Boston College. They took down Virginia Tech, but I don't know. I want to be careful because Clemson's not of the same ilk, but Clemson just took down Florida State. That was a big game. They almost beat Duke. They lost by 1 point in the game they were beating Duke. They busted up. If you want to play the match game, 41-10 at Boston College. 38-24 Louisville beat Boston College at home. Think about that. I thought about it. I looked at it. I thought because this game's battled in the trenches, the way that Louisville's built to play this game, it is to run the ball. Third down efficiency, okay. I mean, they move the chains. Clemson's more pass-oriented, so I think if they're going to be Louisville and you're going to run the ball, Clemson wants to pass it. When they get in trouble, they want to go out there, and they can. As long as they stay disciplined, they don't make stupid moves, they got themselves a position to win this game. For me, I was looking at the under. Kind of seems like the theme of my card today, doesn't it? Although I did take an over in hockey. Excuse me. 50.5. There are 51.5s out there. So do some shopping, if you will. I just think, again, battle in the trenches. We're going to run the ball. If you're Louisville, that's how their path to victory looks. Louisville's not covering shit for spreads at home, but they're, 3-0 on the road. So as far as the side, again, like I said, I think Clemson could go out there and very well upset these boys. This is a big game, a lot on the line for Clemson. And I think because of that, this is where we see what's that motivation. Are they tuned in or are they tuned out? And if you're on the Louisville side of things, I can't play player props, but I looked at their running back as far as a go-to candidate for this game here, because you might just say, hey, I'm going to take the plus. I'm going to take the money line just in case. Thing is, Clemson's got a run defense. It's better than good. It's exceptional. And they've got draft pick projections. They got this cat named Peter Woods. He's going to go high in the draft. First round draft pick. Probably go to, I don't know. I was going to say Eagles, but they've been picking up Georgia and Bama players, so he doesn't fit the pedigree. Anyways, I like this game going lower scoring. I think Clemson wins the game outright too. Wrong team favored in that spot. Speaking of wrong teams favored, let's make a move. Let's go over to the NBA. I'll tell you what, I like the NBA Cup. Some of these guys are haters. They're not big on it, and that's on them because for me, this is the only shit that means anything early in the season for these teams here. And where'd it go? Sorry. Let me get this situated. Sorry. Let me get there. I'm going to talk about 3 games. Only a 3-pack for me here. But I think I found 3 angles that make a lot of sense. Now, I got 3 more over on Winnable. I think those are some really strong opportunities, but we're not coming in here empty-handed. Are you fucking kidding me? Not against this in the NBA Cup. Keep in mind, with the NBA Cup, the way that it goes down is point differential. You got to boat race teams. And so favorites, boat race teams. Hint, hint, if you're thinking about how I'm trying to play this card tonight. It's a tricky spot. The New York Knickerbockers are fierce. They're dominant. They're kicking the shit out of everybody, especially at the Garden. Miami Heat. Yikes. What kind of game are we going to see? We've seen that they've been defense optional. As we look at let me pull up this. Where'd it go? Get the public betting report in here. Let's get this information in here. Here's the deal. Play it however you want. I'm going to tell you how I'm going to play it. I'm going to take the 6.5. Fuck the Knicks. Fuck the Garden. And fuck their home trend. How about that? Give me the Heat. And here's the deal. 58% of the bets, 55% of the cash. It's come down from 9.5 to 6.5. The total at 223.5 has gone up 17 points because it's a cup game. 17 points is a ton. 77% of the bets, 81% of the cash. That's because the Miami Heat don't care about defense either. Now, you're looking at it saying, well, what are you so confident in? What are you seeing out there? NBA Road Dogs. Equal rest, conference opponent. This season. 17-0. 17 straight wins. Can you think of a more contrarian spot? Everybody thinks the Knicks are going to go out there and bust them up. And the Knicks just lost to the Magic. The Knicks, this is one of them spots I like too. Guess how many games they played at home? 5. This is that 6 spot. This feels like that Vegas Golden Knights thing the other night. 5 is that key number. 5 is that key number. When you've played 5 at the same location, you're due to get busted up. So I'm going to fade them. I'm going to take the Miami Heat in this spot. I think 6.5 is a good spot. I think there's wrong team favored. Yeah. Would it surprise you? I mean, look, some people think that the NBA Cup is one of those spots where the teams that, the teams that are younger want to go out there and get it done because they're not going to be relevant. So the older teams, they don't care as much. They just want to go out there and win the championships. I don't know. I mean, Giannis talked about how that money means something to him. They're a 10-point favorite. Hint, hint. But I'll take the Heat in the spot to kick off that game for the NBA Cup. And it looks like a predominantly clean injury report for both teams. Matter of fact, I should look at, let me see. Where'd it go? Let me take a look. I say that tongue in cheek. I don't care about the injury report, but there we go. Let's take a look. Whoops. Got to spell dog right. I just found that, like, with the different sites here, Underdog NBA seems to be one of the betters, right? Seem to be the guys that have it figured out. Knicks will start McBride, Bridges, Anunoby, Towns, Robinson. Okay. See, players are playing today. That's what it comes down to. Edgecombe for the Sixers, as I mentioned, he's back in. The Heat will start Mitchell, Powell, Larson, Wiggins, and Ware. Okay. Yeah. Let's fire. Let's fire up. Let's be the only ones on the Miami Heat. And then call them, I'll win this game outright. And watch them fucking thump them by 10. And then we say, why didn't we all line this thing? Okay. Game number 2 in the NBA Cup. Recognizing 2 things. 1, I told you, margin's important. We had the Timberwolves last for Friday at home against the Utah Jazz. They smacked them, absolutely smacked them in the mouth. And the line reflected that directional move. This line's going the opposite way. It's gone from 12 to 11.5. I ain't playing the Kings. I ain't playing the Timberwolves either at this point. I got my money on the Timberwolves. They can fuck off. 240.5's come down to 238.5. A big number, a huge number, suggesting a lot of scoring. And it makes sense because it's a cup game. And so with the Timberwolves having beat the Jazz last week, they're in contention. So they're going to want to go out there and put some points on the board. We know that right off the gate. We see that the movement's going against them as a squad. suggesting a competitive game. So I can't get there when it comes to the Timberwolves. There's plenty of trends that say go for the Timberwolves. However, look, it's a cup game. We got a 19-2 trend for the Timberwolves at home after being on the road against a conference opponent. Familiarity breeds contempt. 19-2. It's gone over the number 16 straight times. The board suggests it's a big number for a reason. I think that they go out there and this thing does get, dicey. I think we see a whole bunch of points, and I want to be on that side of the over. So cup game, team that's relevant, 19-2, 16 straight overs. Let's go to the last game on the card because I got another big trend for you guys. Come ready to play. We're not here to FAFO. We want the books to find out. Let's see what you guys have to say. Dirty Reg says, nope. Do they cover? Smoke Mirror says he's just here to reach Red X comment rate. Okay. Gualis is not laying 38 with Duke. Damon Waring's in the house. He says, I think Clemson has a chance to pull. Yeah, me too. Wrong team favored. Gualo says Clemson outright. Moss still in concussion mode, I believe. JPZ says, I got Louisville in a parlay. Maybe that's my parlay buster. Or maybe we're just full of shit. Nicholas Handy says, no Bam, no Hero, no Brunson. Well, Hero's been out. So that's no problem for me. And Nicholas Handy says High Point -1.5. I do like High Point, but I can't tell if it's because I like High Point because for some reason I like that organization. I can't tell. High Point. Be a low point if I bet on High Point and they end up losing on me. -1.5's gone to -2.5 for the San Antonio Spurs. It's the last game on the card, you guys. So if you haven't done so already, you're running out of time. Smash the thumbs up button. We're going to nail this thing on the dot. We're going to be done here by 7 p.m. 53% of the bets, 55% of the cash coming in on the Golden State Warriors. 229.5's gone up to 234.5. 88% of the bets, 88% of the cash on the over. And we have a rematch. We have the best kind of rematch. Revenge. At home, no change in location, immediate, no opponents in between. We just saw this the other day. Remember who it was? That aforementioned Miami Heat and the Cavaliers. Remember? They were big favorites game 1. They lost outright to the Heat. Game 2, 2 days later, they sat everybody. And they still came, and then they became dogs and they won outright. Flip-flopped. Immediate revenge. Guess what? The Spurs is in the same situation. Same situation. Now, here's the thing impressive about it. Keep this in mind. Keep me in mind. Shout out to Zach Brown Band. Keep this in mind. When I'm talking about how I just saw the profile with the Miami Heat the other day, it's not a coincidence. That shit's happened 18 straight times in the NBA. It's 46-10. 18 straight wins. We're going to lay the 2.5 tonight with the Spurs. And keep your peepers open for that shit. No change in venue. Just lost the fire back on the other side. Preferably for the home team. But it bounces back in an incredible fashion. We'll lay the 2.5 with the Spurs. That's going to be the way that we put the bow on the show. Appreciate everybody for tuning in here tonight. I was hoping with the Twitter views we'd get to 400. We're too short. But we're growing, man. Appreciate all you guys doing it with us here. Have yourselves a glorious evening. Good luck with your bets. Make sure you tune in tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. to my guy, Ramon Scott. He's going to give you guys the morning steam. He's going to tell you what's happening. First, boots on the ground out of Las Vegas. Steam Report's been killing it. He showed me a report yesterday. Man. Don't miss the morning steam at 9 a.m. And then we'll be back at 6 p.m. or 5:45 p.m. for the UFC and the evening sporting extravaganza that is. There's the 400 mark. There we go. Appreciate everybody rocking with us. Have a great night, everybody. Enjoy your Friday. Good luck. Bet responsibly.